is going on, NoLife digital listeners? How is everyone doing this fine evening? Today, big news. The PlayStation 5 has been revealed, sort of. We're going to chat about the old PS5 and what it has to offer. There's also a new discless Xbox on the way that should be coming soon. There was a Twitch user banned for blackface. Ubisoft apologizes for a very, very distasteful joke in the latest Division 2. I want to chat about the Disney Plus. There's a new Switch firmware. Apex was updated. All gaming today. No tech. Jerry is out, so we're just going to nix the tech. Plus, this show can't be too long tonight because I got some stuff to do later. But yes, how is everyone doing this fine evening? What's up, DB?
What up?
What's going on, bro?
Not much. Just played a little bit of the new Apex patch. Looking forward to the weekend.
Have you been playing anything else? Anything new? You stuck on Apex?
Been playing Apex and been going through little by little of that Great Ace Attorney.
Oh, okay.
Then just do the usual D&D, and I started Horizon Zero Dawn.
Okay.
Yeah, started live streaming that on my channel. Fun. I know you might hate me for it, but I like its focus. It's like a scanning kind of feature more than I liked Witcher's.
Okay. What is Witcher? What do you mean by Witcher's? What's
like the Witcher 3's, like how he uses his like focus to like track things.
Oh, right.
I always lose sight of things because it's just not as colorful as it needs to be.
Yeah.
Whereas the focus in Horizon Zero Dawn is actually very bright, very colorful.
Yeah.
And it's easy to use.
Yeah.
So
no, I can agree with that.
But it's like any other open world game, kind of like that. There's just, I looked at the map. The map's gigantic. There's a ton to do.
How far are you?
Main story wise, I'm at the part where you're like first cast off into like you've been made like the seeker. So okay. I've been doing a few side quests, but I'm doing main quests on stream, and then if I want to do side quests, I do them off stream.
Damn, I wish I was you right now. I would love to relive that game.
I'm enjoying it.
So
like
fun.
hunting down robot dinosaurs is pretty fun, and now I can ride them, and that's even more fun.
It's so fun, dude. I think there's DLC for it too, right?
I have the complete edition. It was like $20. Comes with the Frozen Wilds DLC as well.
Yeah, I haven't even played the DLC. Maybe that's what I'll do. Well, I still kind of want to play the Spider-Man DLC. I haven't got into that one yet.
Spider-Man DLC is great, especially now that all of it's out, so you can just play through it all as if it's another game.
Yeah.
It gets hard. I will say that. It definitely gets more difficult.
That's good, though. What's up, Max? What's up, chat? Shout out to everyone who's following over on Twitch. We're not streaming to all those platforms today. That was kind of a one-off. No D-Live. No, we're not even streaming to our YouTube channel. Just Twitch.
Follow us on Twitch.
Yeah, you're going to have to follow us on Twitch. You're going to get the... there's just no point to risk the channel right now for the podcast. But we're going to stream on Twitch here. DIY or Die and all that stuff is still going to simultaneously stream. But for NoLife, we're streaming on Twitch. It's going to get kicked over to its YouTube channel if you want to watch it. If you want to watch the replay. And then, of course, we're going to be cutting clips out of it so you don't have to watch the full show. But, yeah, the last week we streamed to Mixer, D-Live, Twitch, YouTube, and I think that was it. There might have been one more, but I think that was it.
We weren't live streaming the Pornhub.
No, not yet. Not until we get some Pornhub viewers.
Not until the EA starts trying to fuck us.
Yeah, but not Apex. What the fuck is it called? Horizon. Yeah, that game is fucking phenomenal. It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah. So I was doing some of the side quests, and man, they didn't really put a ton of money into voice acting for some of those side quest characters. They are super generic.
Really? I didn't even notice that, really.
Like you
I thought the voice acting was great.
For the main cast, yeah, the voice acting is great for the main cast. But then you get to like Joe Bob, who's like, uh, go save my daughter. And it's like, wow, this guy didn't even put like an accent. He was just talking like he was just a dude from the street.
He probably was in his past life before.
Where they just like pulled him aside and was like, hey, you're an extra. Come just do like two lines of dialogue.
Damn, it's such a good game, dude. I want to play it now. I kind of want to go back and play it. Maybe I'll play it on the new PS5 when it gets released. They have to have a sequel coming.
Your loading times will be better.
Yeah.
From
They
what
have to
I've
have a
heard,
sequel.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. But like the one little example I heard was Spider-Man's fast travel takes 15 seconds on a PS4 base, takes 0.8 seconds on a PS5 dev kit.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, I don't think it takes 15 seconds though. There's no way.
On a PlayStation regular one?
Yeah, that seems like too long.
I mean, I didn't use the fast travel a lot, mainly because it was just fun to swing around anyway. But I wouldn't be surprised.
Maybe it does. Maybe you just don't notice it, but
because you gotta. I mean, there's also long. Like when you die, there's the loading screens to load up the whole map do take a bit of time. But once you're in the game, there's really never any loading.
Right.
Screens,
Yeah.
for the most part.
Yeah, it's not like Anthem. Anthem's loading is just terrible, and
Anthem needs
you have it on an
PS5.
SSD. You install it on an SSD and it still takes forever. I can't imagine if it was like on a hard spinning disc. I've still been playing Sekiro. If you guys want to watch some Sekiro gameplay, I've been streaming that. I'm only streaming that. Like I'm only playing that on stream. So we're gonna finish that hopefully in a couple of weeks, because I only stream about 2 hours with that game, maybe
You guys
once or
can
twice
get
a week.
good together.
Yeah. Yeah, we beat Lady Butterfly, who was pretty tough, but we were able to beat her, and we're going to continue that journey, and that game's been fun. And I just thought of another fucking game that I've been playing, and it just escaped me because I didn't write it down. Damn it, I can't quite remember it. It'll come to me. But yeah, Sekiro, been stuck on that.
Did you play Cuphead yet?
No, is it on Switch?
On the 18th?
Okay. What's today? The 16th?
Yep.
Yeah, that's when I'm gonna play it for sure. That's a Switch game for me.
That and Katana Zero. So I'll be playing that probably this weekend when I go up to North Jersey for Passover.
Yeah.
On the car ride? Hell yeah.
Fucking Jew.
I gotta celebrate Easter on Sunday too.
That's cool though. You get the fucking Hanukkah and the presents at the same time.
We never did Hanukkah. It was just like,
oh,
here's
really?
one present. My parents were my dad were like our family was lazy. They're like, you know what? Instead of 8 nights of small presents, just like, here's your one thing. You're
Yeah.
good.
That's funny though, because I had a good friend that lived growing up. He lived right down the road, and he was Jewish and Christian, and he would celebrate both holidays and just get like an entire month off of school in December. I was just like, damn, that's awesome.
Depends on your school district, man.
He
Because-
always had off, dude. There's in the Jewish religion, there's so many holidays, just constantly holidays.
Yeah, and you
That's
live in
the way
like
to do it.
a high Jewish population area. All those schools get like crazy days off for
Yeah.
holidays. If you live in like a non-predominantly Jewish neighborhood, you get none of those days off.
No, nope. Yeah. He would. I mean, his family would just take him out of school, and yeah.
I mean, it's a short work
it's
week.
funny.
I got Good Friday off, so
Yeah, Easter this weekend. That's gonna be cool. I'm going to the in-laws, and they have a beach house, so we're gonna go chill there and just relax. I don't know.
Nice.
Should be fun. I don't really like Easter. I like to still see the fam for a little bit, but I rather just like, it's not a holiday that I care about too much.
it for some reason, I guess in my family, but also a lot of other families, it became almost like gift giving holiday. Not like a big gift giving holiday, but you get like a basket of candy and stuff. But you'd also get like some movies. Like I would always get like a couple like DVD or two
Oh, nice.
of like some movies I really wanted.
Yeah, my mom to this day, she's every year she would when I would see her for Easter, she would give candy, and I'm not opposed to candy, dude. I'll take candy any day of the week.
And hollow bunnies, throw them in the freezer.
Yep.
Get a pipette and fill them with peanut butter.
Fuck, I can't remember the game that I was playing.
What system was it on?
I think it was on PC. I can't quite remember.
Indie game or AAA?
Indie game. I can't remember it. Oh, Risk of Rain. Risk of Rain.
Oh,
That's the
you're
game.
playing Risk Rain too.
Yeah, Risk of Rain. Have you played that yet?
I have a bunch of friends who are playing it. I've never played either the first one or the new one. From what I hear,
Download it.
From what I heard, they transitioned from 2D to 3D very well.
Download it. And if you can, get the first one if you want to play it. It's a roguelike, but it's a shooter. So it's like, there was an old game, I forget what it was called, but it had the same sort of shooting mechanics. It was one of like the first ever multiplayer shooters on Steam at the time. And it was a 2D shooter, and you would run around, pick up different weapons, and you had to shoot. Fucking forget the name of it. I want to say like, I'm gonna have to Google it because it's gonna bother me if I don't remember it. But it was more just like a multiplayer shooter, like CS, but it looked like Risk of Rain 1, and I forget. 2D multiplayer shooter. It was really, really good. Risk of Rain 1 was kind of like that, except added all these roguelike elements where you're constantly getting different guns and different upgrades, and that would carry over. And
I'm trying to think. Like, I remember Enter the Gungeon, but that wasn't early. That was
no.
Multiplayer.
Yeah, this is Sold At. That's what it was called. Sold At.
Sold At? Never heard of it.
If you guys haven't played Sold At, oh man, you can still play it, dude. It's still on Steam. If you guys never played Sold At, then you probably didn't really PC game back in the day, because this was huge when it first came out. I believe it was free, and that's what made it really popular. Just a fun 2D multiplayer shooter, and it was one of the first games that utilized multiplayer online, shooting other people. It was like right around the time of like Quake and Tribes and stuff like that.
Man, even their website, soldat.pl, looks like it's straight from the early 2000s.
Yeah. It's awesome. Free multiplayer action game. Yeah, it's like they haven't changed it at all. But Risk of Rain kind of looks like Soldat, how it was. Like, that's the sort of vibe that the game is.
There are currently 23 players online and 70 servers.
They're probably so good. These
there are
people.
More servers than players. That's just
yeah, this is the shit, dude. So much sold at
on Steam. Coming soon. This item is not yet available. Add to wish list.
Yeah, this game also had like a physics system where if you would shoot your gun, it would propel you backwards. So a lot of the time you wanted to like use that momentum in certain areas. Why isn't this working here? There we go. But yeah, so Risk of Rain is kind of like that, except you add in what's it called, roguelike features. And then they have like this new version, which is essentially a 3D version of their old game. And it's sort of similar to the old one, but it's also not at the same time. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like a completely different game, but there are a lot of roguelike elements. So if you like roguelikes, which is just like procedurally generated content, different weapons, there's just constantly different things to do, then check out Risk of Rain 2 because it's a blast. I'm having a lot of fun playing it. I haven't played too much of it. I only played a few hours of it, but I'm a huge roguelike fan. I mean, Dead Cells is one of my favorite games last year. Or was it 2 years ago? I can't remember anymore. But I just love that type of like just randomness of these games. You know what I mean? Like, let's get this power up, which I've never gotten before, and I've played 30 hours of this game, and combine it with this power up, which I've also never gotten before and played 30 hours of the game. And then it creates this completely crazy mechanic that you might not see again in the very near future. It might take you months and months and months to get that certain power up or that certain stack. And that aspect of roguelikes are so fun. And Risk of Rain 2 kind of throws it into this 3D realm. It's tough. I don't quite know the longevity of it because there's just not much stuff. It's still in early access, but download it. Please download it. Let's play Risk of Rain 2. It's a good time, and I think you guys will enjoy it. That's what I've been playing other than Sekiro, and there's some other games that I just have to get back into so I can beat them. Like I said, the Spider-Man. I would love to go back and play the expansions for Horizon, stuff like that. I kind of want to play Zelda Breath of the Wild again. Fucking like 6th playthrough.
I've been thinking about it, especially since they came out and said that all the changes they're making for the VR experience will also be available to the players without VR.
Oh, that's cool.
So, like,
That's
all
pretty
right,
cool.
so they're still doing some stuff to it.
It's one of the greatest games ever made. It's so good, man. Just because it's like you can lay down and play it. It adds just a whole level of just like relaxation to the game, like escape. You know what I mean? There's not many games you can play laying down that are that good. And then Cuphead's coming. I'm probably gonna have to get Cuphead. I haven't played that at all yet, so that should be
It's
fun.
very good. It's a very, very good game.
Do you still listen to the OST in the car?
Hell yeah. I got it on random, but I have the album on my phone.
That's awesome. All right, well, let's get into the big news. PlayStation 5 has been announced, an exclusive out of Wired.com. I'll get the Wired one.
Yeah, the actual interview.
Yeah.
Mark Cerny, man, like the architect for this system. It was the architect for the PS4 as well. Some of the patents they were showing turned out to be true.
Yeah, so let's see let's see this article here. Mark Cerny does an article, does an interview with Wired, exclusive interview, and they talk about this new console. And I suggest you read it. Like, this is a really well written. Wired is awesome. I love a lot of their writing. They do a good job, and they kind of set the scene for you, and they get into it. PlayStation's next generation console ticks all the boxes. Well, let me go back a little bit. A true generational shift tends to include few foundational adjustments. A console's CPU and GPU become more powerful, able to deliver previously unattainable graphical fidelity and visual effects. System memory increases size and speed, and game files grow to match, necessitating larger downloads or higher capacity physical media like discs. PlayStation's next-gen console ticks all those boxes, starting with an AMD chip at the heart of the device. The CPU is based on the third-gen Ryzen line and contains 8 cores of their 7nm Zen 2 microarchitecture. So the new Zen 2 7nm chips, that is the heart of essentially what this system is. So it's based around more of a PC-centric system, because the PS2, from what I remember, was an AMD just like supercomputer thing. Like, it was very removed from PC development. So when you have something like this, which runs on an AMD Ryzen CPU, your games need to play on that. It's using the new architectures. It has actual cores that are using it. There's 8 in this one. When you are developing for a game, you can also develop it for a PC right alongside with it. With relative ease. You don't have to worry about that gigantic shift in complete different architectures. And I'm assuming Xbox's architecture is also going to be built off of this new 7nm Zen 2 microarchitecture. So that just makes it easier for developers to make the games for multiple consoles. And it's nice. We always expected AMD to be the guys who are running this one. We kind of heard rumors along the way, but they've always just kind of held the ground on SoCs, and it's no surprise here that they're working with Sony to create this one. The GPU in the system is a custom variant of Radeon's Navi family, so it's using a custom GPU, which they're claiming supports ray tracing, and that's pretty big because the RTX cards are the only cards right now with ray tracing support. But now we're seeing what this news basically says is that AMD can now do ray tracing on their architectures. This is a custom variant, and it's not out yet, but nonetheless, we should see this in the PC realm as well. So that's interesting too, man. It's going to be a pretty beast console. It's not like top of the line, though. You're not getting the top of the line $2,000 CPU here. You're still getting like a console. Like, by the time this console gets released, it'll still be a little bit underpowered from the top of the line of the PC market right now. So it'll be able to reach 4K 30 frames per second. I don't know if it's going to reach 4K 60 frames per second. It probably will, because it is all system on chip. It is all just specific architectures built for this. So developers will just only build for this architecture. So you might just get 60 frames per second in 4K. But I don't see it pushing like 4K 144. We're not going to see anything like drastically crazy with
Has
this
a console
new,
ever gone above normally 60?
just PC.
Yeah.
Just PC. Yeah. No console has done over
And I don't
60.
think it ever. I mean, it probably will never do it. I don't know how like tech bunch about his like TVs, but it's not like everybody's TVs are also have those like that hertz refresh rates that you're gonna see on PC like gaming
Right.
monitors.
Right. Like if you want a TV with like 144 megahertz, like you're spending like multiple thousands of dollars. You know what I mean? Or computer monitors, you can do that. Like it's perfectly fine to get a computer monitor. It's just when you scale it up that big, there's just so much more processing power, and you just need bigger components and more powerful components to push that display signal out at 144 times a frame or a second. So
And they claim that this system can do 8K as well.
yeah, I don't doubt it. I expect it to be at least 4K 60 at the very very top end. I still don't know if they're gonna be able to reach that consistently, because if it really depends on what this new Zen 2 7 nanometer chip does. It depends on what this new Navi GPU
And I think a
does.
lot of that's going to come down to devs and what software they're using.
Right.
Like good
Like
luck
exclusive games?
Frostbite on this.
Well, exclusive games, they'll probably hit that because they'll be only developing for this specific system. And when you have that restraint, then you can make sure that you're utilizing all of its power. That's one of the good things about exclusive games. You know, they really get the best out of those consoles if they know what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Nintendo doing first party. You know that those file sizes are going to be smaller because Nintendo's very good at compression.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So it's just nice. It's nice to hear that they are kind of bumping things up. We're starting to get. I like the fact that they're talking about ray tracing in this article, because that's that's the future of the new visual fidelity in games. It's ray tracing. It's being able to see something in the scene that's not in the scene, and that brings about a whole world of other opportunities. It just allows. It just allows just a complete depth of fidelity to your game, because then you can add in so many other elements. You can add in other light sources that bounce through other light sources and other refractions, and it just allows just so much more fidelity within the game. And now that consoles are getting it, it'll make more developers want to produce that sort of stuff in their game, and then more people are going to get in it, and they're going to want to push the boundaries, and then we're going to start to see some cool stuff. So that's exciting. There's another interesting thing. The AMD chip will also include a custom unit for 3D audio that Cerny thinks will redefine what sound can do in a video game. Quote, as a gamer, he says, it's been a little bit of a frustration that audio did not change too much between PS3 and PS4. With the next console, the dream is to show how dramatically different the audio experience can be when we apply significant amounts of hardware horsepower to it. That's really interesting, because this is a hardware decision to increase the audio fidelity. So normally with audio, that's all software. Like a lot of the Dolby stuff is all software. If you listen to something and you turn on like the 3D audio feature, it's all software. It's just to wrap the sound around the stereophonic speakers. But a hardware element, that adds a different level. That means that they're developing things to harness this new hardware, and that could actually change the way that we hear games. It's probably not going to make it too, crazy, but it'll definitely make a difference, especially if you have that like a 5.1 or 7.1 surround sound system, and they have dedicated hardware to experiencing like this new 3D audio. That could be really, really cool, because he's right though. Like, audio in gaming and in video and in music, it's always just stereo, stereo. That's it. That's all we have. 5.1 is just an extension of stereo, essentially. It's just adding more speakers and more channels for the audio to come through. But like true 3D audio, where this fucking anywhere in the scene you can pinpoint a sound, we just haven't had that yet, which would be awesome.
Yeah, and the fact that he says that the gold standard will like be headphone audio, they're really reaching for that audiophile. And one of my favorite things about the PlayStation 4, and I'm assuming it's going to be the same for the PS5, is that headphone jack and the controller.
Yeah.
I mean, that even the controller itself has a speaker in it, which is so Kingdom Hearts 3. There's a part near the end where the audio actually comes from the controller, and it's a unique thing I didn't expect to happen, and it took me kind of off guard. You didn't get that on Xbox. So there's some things
they do that with Horizon as well.
Yeah, and I mean, it's nothing new. If you remember, the old Wiimote had a speaker on it that would do some things like that. If you played like Twilight Princess, they'd open a chest, the speaker on the actual remote would make the sound. But it's that kind of immersion that when they do it right and you're not expecting it, it can be very powerful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he says the result will make you feel more immersed in the game as sounds come at you from above you, from behind, from the side. While the effect will require no external hardware, it will work through TV speakers and virtual surround. He allows that the gold standard will be headphone audio.
And audio is extremely important for immersion. Yeah. You've played Last of Us, like when you know the new Last of Us 2. That game is going to be so much creepier when you have the audio at the best it can be, and you're hearing some of these zombies coming around from the corner. Yeah. Or if you're playing any shooter where you need to be listening to footsteps, where they're pinpoint where they're coming from.
Like in a movie, if the audio is bad, it takes you out more of the scene than if the video is bad or if the visuals are bad. Like audio is so much more important than people think it is. You know,
A Quiet Place would not be as good of a movie if it wasn't for its sound design.
Yeah. Yeah. I have some feelings about that movie. I thought it was kind of dumb.
It's a dumb movie, but you got to admit it's definitely a spectacle of sound design.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Its entire tension comes from sound.
Yeah. I did think that was a plain movie that I watched, but I did enjoy it.
Yeah, I did it with headphones on for the ultimate experience.
You have to. You cannot watch that. I did it with airplane headphones on, mind you. So it wasn't the best experience.
I had these all day KGs on.
Going further, so new CPU, new GPU, the ability to deliver unprecedented visual and audio effects in a game, maybe a PSVR sequel at some point. That's all great, but there's something else that excites Cerny even more. Something that he calls a true game changer. Something that, more than anything else, is the key to the next gen. The hard drive. A larger game gets last year's Red Dead 2 clocked in at 99 gigabytes for the PS4. I didn't know it was that big. That's insane.
It was gigantic.
I knew it was big. I didn't know it was almost a fucking 100 gigabytes. Loading screens can last minutes while the game pulls what it's in need from the hard drives. Same goes for fast travel. Minutes is pushing it. I don't know if I've waited 1 minute for something.
You got Red Dead digitally, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe the physical was 2 discs.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah, 2 Blu-rays. That's fucking gigantic.
That's insane in today's gaming.
He goes, same goes for fast travel. When characters transport between far-flung points within a game world, even opening a door can take over a minute. Again, I don't know what game he's playing where opening a door takes a minute, but whatever. Depending on what's on the other side, how much more the data needs to load. Starting in the fall 2015, when Cerny first began talking to devs about what they wanted from the next gen, he heard it time and time again. I know it's impossible, but can we have an SSD? SSDs have been available on budget laptops for more than a decade. The Xbox One and PS4 both offer external SSDs that claim to improve load times, but not all SSDs are created alike, as Cerny points out. I have an SSD on my laptop, and when I want to change from Excel to Word, I can wait 15 seconds. What's built into Sony's next-gen console is something more specialized. To demonstrate, Cerny fires up Spider-Man, a 2018 game. On the TV, Spidey stands in a small plaza. Cerny presses a button on the controller, initiating a fast travel interstitial screen. When Spidey reappears in a totally different spot in Manhattan, 15 seconds have elapsed. Then Cerny does the same thing on the next-gen dev kit connected to a different TV. What took 15 seconds now takes less than 0.8 seconds to be exact. That's just one consequence of an SSD. There's also the speed with which a world can be rendered, and thus the speed with which a character can move through that world. Cerny runs 2 similar console demonstrations this time, with the camera moving up one of the Midtown avenues. On the original PS4, the camera moves at about the speed Spidey hits while web slinging. No matter how powered up you get as Spider-Man, you can never go faster than this, Sony says, because that's simply how fast we can get the data off the hard drive. On the next-gen console, the camera speeds uptown like it's mounted to a fighter jet. Periodically, Sony pauses the action to prove that the surrounding environment remains perfectly crisp. While the next-gen console will support 8K graphics, TVs that deliver it are few and far between, so we're using a 4K TV. So yeah, the loading seems to be impressively improved here. You know, that is a substantial amount. 15 seconds to less than a second is huge. And even more so how fast it's rendering all of those files and rendering all of those scenes at a point where he says it's perfectly crisp at the resolution of 4K, but I guess they're saying it's upscaled to 8K. It doesn't really matter. So that's awesome. That just means that we're going to be able to essentially not have to worry too much about load times. Maybe Anthem, we can finally play Anthem the way it's meant to be played.
We'll get to it in a moment, but they're using what seems to be a customized SSD for this. And we'll get to the final point where we believe what our opinions are for pricing.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling that this is going to be an extremely important thing to keep an eye on, especially when it comes to replacing the hard drive or something like that. If it's going to be a customized hard drive, and let's say something happens to your hard drive, DOA, whatever, you may have to send it back to them to have it repaired.
I don't think so.
It might not be. You might not get that benefit if you're just going to put in any old SSD into it.
I don't think so. I'll explain it. Well, furthermore, at the moment, Sony won't cop exact details about the SSD, who makes it, whether it utilizes new PCIe 4.0 standard, but Sony claims that it has raw bandwidth higher than any SSD available for PCs. That's not all. The raw read speed is important, but so are the details of the I/O mechanisms and the software stack that we put on top of them. I got a PS4 Pro, and then I put in an SSD that costs just as much as the PS4 Pro. It might be 1/3 faster, as opposed to 19 times faster for the next-gen console, judging by the fast travel demo. So what I think this SSD essentially is some sort of AMD variant of what Intel has with their Intel not QuickSync. What's the name of that fucking SSD? I forget. Intel Optane. Their Intel Optane. So what Intel Optane does is essentially this sort of little hardware stack, software stack bundle that increases the speed of your SSDs and HDDs. So it doesn't drastically make them faster, but it allows a much bigger cash flow, and it allows it to speed it up, essentially. I think this is more of like a dedicated version of that AMD has developed for this system, or maybe even for their computers as well. And that's what this is. So essentially, if you were to put in an SSD, because of this hardware that they have implemented, it might speed up those SSDs or hard drives to a point where you don't really need to worry about if your hard drive breaks or if you need to get a new hard drive. They could possibly use this as a way for them to sort of gain more money out of you, having proprietary hard drives. And I don't see Sony doing in that much, as that's like an Apple thing. I just don't. Sony's always been pretty good with stuff like that.
They will have the option for you to replace the SSD or put in a different one. I'm not doubting that.
Yeah. You never know, though. They could be hey, you have to buy these proprietary hard drives for the PlayStation.
I will say the base console, if I had to guess right now, it will be a 1 terabyte. Especially when you look at how big Red Dead was at 100 gigs. You can't throw a 500 gig SSD in that. You'd be able to fit with operating system and everything. You'd be able to barely fit 3 or 4 all digital games, especially the new games.
Yeah, 1 terabyte sounds like it's gonna be the standard.
And then they'll have a second option for a 2 terabyte version as well.
Or they do the 512 and they say, hey, spend an extra $150 and you get the 2 terabyte or the 1 terabyte. This is stuff that they could do. And that maybe this is like that's where Apple makes a lot of its money. Apple makes a lot of its money selling that stupid cheap hardware or hard drives, So they might try to take a page out of the Apple book. I don't think so,
You
but
want
you
that
never know.
16 gig iPhone, no slot for an SSD card? You essentially streaming all your music because you can't put a damn thing on there.
Or you want to upgrade to like the 512 version for an extra
Or you
seven
can get
hundred dollars.
yourself an Android. You
Yeah,
get yourself one of the new Galaxies, comes with a minimum 128 gigabyte hard drive with an SD card slot.
yeah,
I'll always argue for Android.
yeah, yeah. So that's an interesting point. Pricing. We don't know pricing. They didn't state it in the article. You think it's going to be
Yeah,
what?
they're not gonna say. I think softball projection, 499. If that's the lowest, I think they can get this. If they can get it lower than 499, I'll be shocked. But they did state that all games for the PS4 will be able to be played on the PS5. It is backwards compatible, which it really needs to be, since Microsoft has already been doing that with their Xbox consoles. Even though that stuff can run all the way back to original Xbox, the architecture has changed so much from PS1, PS2, especially PS3 ruined a lot of it, to PS4.
Yeah, the
But
PS3 was the one with that big fucking silicon chip.
the only way I can see this being under $500 is if it's 400 or 450 and they're willing to eat a lot of cost, and they're going to drop the PS4 base and the PS4 Pro. They're going to cut them hard in order to sell the remaining units they have of those to casuals who just want to play the new games, because they will be released on both PS4 and PS5, while they offer this system as kind of the upscale, almost like how the PS4 Pro was. Like, if you're going to buy this early, you are already dead set on spending whatever money it costs because you want the best experience.
Mm-hmm.
The early adopter mentality, it's not coming in 2019. I mean, we've seen from Nintendo that you can drop a console in March and still be fine.
Yeah, probably not the best idea to do it that way.
If you do a soft launch where all of your currently exclusive software for the PS5 is also coming to PS4, it really softens that blow. And then once you've had it out and you have enough software out, then you do the hard launch in Christmas,
Yeah.
which is where you really see your sales bolster up like crazy.
Casual 1032 says Sony needs to quit their BS and allow cross-platform play.
Oh, I totally agree on that one.
I wonder if that's something that they're thinking about with the new next gen.
So
'Cause it could be a selling
Sony-
point for them essentially.
well, it's a selling point right now for Microsoft for certain. The problem with Sony is, and we've seen this before when they quote unquote win the generation war. When the PS2 sold God knows how much, and then the PS3 came out, they were on top of the world. They were arrogant as fuck. Agreeably so. They just had they have the greatest of all time selling console. And then you saw the PS3 versus the 360 and what Microsoft was able to do to compete with them. And the PS3 had a very rough launch. It came out way too expensive. It was a pretty bad architecture to develop for, where Microsoft was nailing everything. I don't think it's the same as it is then, but I do believe that Sony has been arrogant because the PS4 did very well compared to the Xbox.
Yeah.
The Xbox One, the Xbox One S, the Xbox, the Xbone.
You might say what you're saying. This might be the PS3 of PS5s.
Not from a hardware aspect, but from a mentality.
Right. No. Well, the PS3 had great hardware. It was just everything else around it. It is essentially, a lot of people get console games. They get the same console that their friends have. You know what I mean? And especially back then with the PS3 and Xbox 360, everyone wanted to play Call of Duty online with their friends, and that was the place to play it. You know what I mean?
When they came out with the PS3 and went $500, and that same, and then like that's, and then like there was the whole issue with what was it? Then that was the thing, that was the Xbox One had that problem, but with the PS3, it's like $500, or is it the PS4? Either way, it was very expensive. Then the Xbox 360 came out. It had a better online. It had a better like online space with friends and things like that, where PlayStation 3 did not really capture that. Uh, and a lot of it was like, man, the PS3 was an ugly looking console.
Mm-hmm.
The aesthetics on that thing were garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention, I think a lot of the initial shipment were DOAs.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of failures.
There were two with the Xbox, though.
Yeah, the
Granted.
Xbox with the Red Ring of Death is, God, that has been a meme for so. It's still a meme. You looked at like the pictures of the dark hole.
That was crazy that even was a thing. Imagine if something like that happened today.
Oh God,
That'd
it would ruin.
Yeah.
But there were points where, like, I mean, Sony has always had a chance to one up their competition. It seems in the past, where I believe it was the original PlayStation, they came out and they were like, it was either that or the PS2. I can't remember which one, but I remember they came out and they just like, the first thing they said was price point, and it was already cheaper than their competitor.
Mm-hmm.
You do that, and it's like, well, now I'm already interested because you're selling a console for cheaper.
Yeah, I'm also curious to know what the market is nowadays, or I should say when these consoles released, for people who want a more budget system or people who want the top of the line best console. Because with PC gaming being how big it is now, I mean, it's bigger than it has ever been in the history of its history. There's a lot more money. People have to spend a lot more money in PC gaming. It's just the way it is. You know, you just have to spend more money, but you ultimately get a more powerful experience. And I want to know if console is sort of still going to stay in that casual, cheap realm, or if they will make that jump to this more high-end, more power. Because, I mean, I got a PS4 Pro. I got a fucking Xbox One X. I'm that type of person that will pay a little bit extra for a better system.
I think it comes down to, and it's one of the reasons why, like, I don't feel like Nintendo... Like, I feel like Nintendo and PC get along so damn well because it just makes for a great complementary console, especially being innovative. And that's their whole shtick, is where they go for the innovation over power.
What do you mean? Like someone buying a PC and then also buying a Switch? And
Also
that's
buying
it?
a Switch. Yeah, I know a lot of people who do that.
That's all I play currently. I mostly
Especially
play
now.
my Switch and PCs.
Especially now, a lot of games from third party. You're not getting a lot of these first party games from PlayStation. You're not getting any of them coming to PC. I mean, if Red Dead came to PC, holy crap. But
It is.
But Microsoft, if you're a big Microsoft fan, all their games are on PC. You can get that in a Switch.
It's going to be huge year for Microsoft. This is their year to really.
If
make a
Sony
statement.
ever drops the ball on their exclusives, that's when I think they're in trouble.
I think they might already. I mean, I think you're right. They might be pulling a PS3 here. Because
Their mentality is, and that's the thing, is with cross play, Microsoft and Nintendo have embraced cross play not only with each other but with PC as well.
yeah.
You look at Rocket League, you look at Fortnite, you look at a bunch of these other games, Minecraft.
Well, you have a gaming PC, right? If the Xbox comes out and they say all of our games, you buy it, you get a key, you can play it on your Xbox and your PC. What console do you get? I think I go Xbox every time. It doesn't even matter what the exclusives are. I'd buy that console. Now, I'll probably buy PS5 anyway because I'm a fucking
I mean, I'm not
nerd.
going to buy the console. I have my PC.
Yeah.
Like, Halo, the new Halo, I'm totally getting that for PC. Master Chief Collection is coming to PC. I've always been of the mind that when we think of Microsoft, their big IP, their Crash Bandicoot, their mascot is Master Chief, is Halo. That's been their flagship since the original Xbox. I always said, if that comes to PC, I will never have a reason to buy an Xbox console.
Mm-hmm.
Which is fine. They're going to get my money because software sales can be a big factor.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you realize that you're playing already on their software through Windows.
Mm-hmm. I mean, just look at like Sega. Sega's still around. You know, they moved strictly to software.
Because they went for power. The Dreamcast was, in that generation, was the powerful console, but it failed.
Now, the end of the article says, what gaming will look like in a year or two, let alone 10, is a matter of some debate. BR games have shaped multiplayer. Augmented reality marries the fantastical and real in unprecedented ways. Google is leading a charge from away from traditional consoles by launching a cloud gaming service, Stadia, later this year. Microsoft's next version of the Xbox will presumably integrate cloud gaming as well to allow people to play Xbox games on multiple devices. Sony plans in this regard are still unclear. It's one of the many things Sony is keeping mum on, saying that only we are cloud gaming pioneers and our vision should become clear as we head toward launch. But it's hard to think there won't be more news coming out on that front. Do you think PlayStation is going to do sort of what Microsoft's trying to do with just like you can play our games on anything you want? Because that's pretty crazy too.
No, I don't see it from them. And one of the reasons I don't see it from them is
they might be like, you can cloud play to your Vita. That's it.
Well, first of all, they got out of the handheld market. The Vita's dead. Even in Japan, the Vita is pretty much no longer supported.
Mm-hmm.
The Switch destroyed them. And that's the thing, is Nintendo has always won the handheld war. You think of when
and you don't think Sony will ever say play Last of Us 2 on your Switch cloud?
No, it's not there for it. So what I'm saying is like, okay, Xbox, Microsoft have the advantage. They've had a development team. They've had so much money in research and development go into cloud, to all of cloud services and cloud, management, all of that stuff. They have the leg up on cloud-based like services. Maybe Google is there with them, but Sony is nowhere near that. Sony would have to team up with somebody who does know that stuff. And Sony doesn't like doing that.
Yeah. Well, they also have so much money that they could figure it out pretty easily. I think they do have a lot of money in the bank. But you're right. Like, it won't compete with Google's servers and Microsoft Azure servers. That's just an entire system built on something like this. So they're going to be very far behind on that realm, and that could be game changing for Xbox.
And I don't know how big cloud gaming is going to be in Japan. Because Microsoft has no presence in Japan. They are essentially fighting in the European market and the North American market. They are not competing at all in Japan. Japan is where Nintendo and Sony compete against each other, as well as mobile gaming. So I really don't know how big of a thing cloud gaming is going to be in Japan.
And Japan's tiny, though.
Exactly. And
tiny little market.
It's a tiny market, but it's a lot of people with a lot of money. When it comes to the North American market, like I said, Sony just has the IPs, and Microsoft needs something to compete with them. Game Pass is a hell of a lot better than PlayStation Now. That's a big step in the right direction. Getting IPs to compete is what Microsoft is going to have to do.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to get money to get these IPs. That's what all this software stuff is for. I want to know if there's a future where we can play Xbox games on PlayStation. I think there is soon.
I think your future is looking closer to playing Microsoft games on a Nintendo.
Yeah. You never know,
or maybe
man.
Vice versa.
You never know. You might be able to... I don't think Nintendo will ever allow their games on anything else.
Nintendo and Xbox... No, they won't. They won't. But Nintendo and Xbox are... They are... I would say they're in bed together, but right now they having sex.
Yeah, but Nintendo... You'll never play a Nintendo game on anything.
But you might see some Halo on the Switch.
Oh, yeah. No, that's
That's what Microsoft wants to do. Microsoft wants you to play their software on anything you have.
Yeah, and I would love to see it on a PlayStation, because then you could just buy one console.
But you will never see...
Wait, hold on. Can I play a Nintendo game in an Xbox cloud on my PlayStation? Is that a possible future?
That will never happen.
Come on, Sony, make it happen. Stop fucking around. I want to play Nintendo games in my Xbox Cloud link on my PlayStation. Please. That's the end game right there. In VR. All of it in VR, of course.
Being supported by the Google Cloud.
Yeah. Yeah. Log in with your Gmail.
You gotta use that Google Plus.
Yeah.
What a dead platform that was.
Speaking of Xbox, they're going to be releasing a new console in May that's discless. It'll cost $250. So if you haven't bought in your Xbox yet, hold on a second. Is this essentially Okay,
It's all
so
digital. It is the Xbox One S all digital. Yes, that is sad.
it's not an Xbox One X. That's not.
Oh no, it's
That's
not an X. It's an S.
okay.
Which, by the way,
It's a streaming box.
you
It's an
can
expensive
find
streaming box.
you can find Xbox One S's right now for 250.
Really?
So I don't see what the benefit of having a discless version at that same price point is. You make this 200.
It's probably smaller. It's probably cooler looking. And hate to break to you, Doobie, no one's buying discs anymore. Except you.
I'm just saying for the price point, like if you're gonna release this at 250, then you need to drop the disc based one or something. You need to drop some kind of price. You need to cut something somewhere.
Yeah, the S will probably drop down. It'll probably be around like 200 for brand
200.
new. Brand new.
Get that bitch down to 150.
They might not. They might not even fucking sell the
I
S
don't know if they're
anymore.
making them anymore. That's the thing. Drop that to 150. Sell out your remaining shipment.
Yeah, they might. I mean, it looks like they don't even want you to ever buy a CD ever again. You buy it on your computer, you play it on your Xbox. That's their goal.
Yeah, I don't mind. I mean, I don't even have a disk drive on my PC. Why would I?
Yeah. No need for that anymore. Microsoft confirms Xbox Game Pass Ultimate new subscription tier coming in 2019.
Not a surprise. I mean, we were all kind of waiting for them to make a tiered, like another tier to the platform.
Yeah, I'll probably get this just because I don't have to have. I could just get this with Xbox Live and also have Game Pass bundle. It's $15.
Game Pass works for PC as well, which is a beautiful thing, and it's coming to Nintendo Switch.
Yeah. So
Like
$15.
Xbox Game Pass is coming to Nintendo Switch. What world are we living in?
Not one where you can play it on a PlayStation. That's
Nope,
not a world I want.
nope, yep. You're gonna have to bitch and moan at PlayStation for that one. They won't do jack shit.
All right, this is an interesting story. Twitch punishes white Apex Legends cosplayer who painted her face black. She goes by Karu Pups. Her name's Karina Martinshkevich.
The picture's so cringy. I can't even look at it.
She was streaming herself preparing her Lifeline cosplay in Twitch's Just Chatting section to roughly 160 viewers. Martinshkevich, who had dyed her hair and put on a white t-shirt and surgical mask, then applied a dark foundation to her face to mimic Lifeline's appearance. On my stream, I wanted to show the viewers how hard it is to prepare for a cosplay, how much time the makeup, costume, and other details can take. And there's the image of her there. And
it's so cringy, dude.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
I don't know what she was thinking. You can't do that. Not today.
I don't.
Not today.
It's 2019.
I understand. Now,
can't do blackface.
Now it sounds like
you can't do it.
It sounds like she's not of the U.S. She's Lithuanian. So she might not know though all the culture that's going on in the U.S. I don't think there's any malice behind it. Obviously, it's just trying to cosplay as like a popular character in a popular game. But now she had to learn the hard way that that's not accepted in U.S. culture. That's crazy, dude. Crazy. Yeah, and I'm surprised no one said to her like, "Hey, what are you doing right now on your stream?" I would have loved to watch that.
I gotta imagine she's Russian or something because it says
She's Lithuanian.
The picture. Oh, she's Lithuanian. Yeah, she posted it to Russia, like a Russian social media app.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She probably doesn't know, the culture and that you can't do that. She probably thought like, "Oh, I'll just be this cute Lifeline thing. She's obviously a black woman, so I'm gonna have to paint myself up." Just not even thinking about it. And then before you know it, you have blackface. All right, here's another pretty rough one. Ubisoft apologizes for homophobic slur in the Division 2's street art. I don't even know if I could show this. But essentially there is an image here of a cop eating a donut in the Division 2. And if you zoom in on the badge, it says a very bad word. Very bad word.
That did not pass through quality assurance.
No, and it was masked as like a number, like a badge number, like leet speak, but it was pretty. It got uncovered pretty quickly. let's see if there's any what their
Did they
response was.
lift like who? I'm assuming probably somebody when they were making art for this lifted this image from somewhere and didn't think about it and just put it on there. I wonder. So it's a reference to the cover of the 1981 single by the band Black Flag, Henry Rollins. Okay.
What's the reference?
Well, that makes sense. Looking at the cover of this album art, why they put it there. Somebody
Oh,
did not think about this.
I clicked on that link. I should not have clicked on it. Yeah, no. So I guess it.
Hardcore punk, man, so good.
Yeah, I guess it's like a. It just got passed through the review process, I guess, and you can't have that, dude. You can't have it.
That is rough.
Yeah, unfortunate. And they apologize. So we apologize that this image slipped through our content review processes, and we are currently reviewing them in order to avoid this kind of oversight from occurring in the future.
I haven't really heard anything about the Division 2 since it released. I kind of feel like it just came out and then that was it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a freaking looter shooter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean everyone just getting on that Anthem, Destiny, bullshit.
Yeah. Disney Plus. Have you heard of Disney Plus?
I did, and I'm actually surprised by the price.
$4.99, right? Or $6.99?
$6.99, $7, which really, and it really, so they canceled the shows on Netflix from Marvel, which of course Disney owns Marvel. Not only that, but Netflix raises its price to $14.99 a month, and now Disney comes in with like, hey, we got all that Marvel shit, and we undercutting you by half.
But it's not all Disney, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, but there's a ton of original programming from like Star Wars stuff, and they're bringing cartoons. Like they got this because this is all because they bought the Fox deal, and now they have The Simpsons is now owned by Disney. Like Disney is a monopoly. Even more so now that they bought all of the entertainment from Fox.
Yeah.
And they're Disney's just going to control a ton of media.
But it's just like Casual says he's hating how fractured all this TV stuff is getting.
Oh, yeah, of course. This is kind of why you cut the cord was to pay less and get all these streaming things. But now it feels like you're signing up for the same price where you're pick and choosing your packages.
Yeah.
And if you want YouTube, you got to get YouTube Red. Or YouTube TV. Then you want Netflix. You've got Hulu. You've got Amazon Prime Video. You've got Disney.
All that have like their own exclusives with like. Then you have like CBS All Access, which is a new one. If you want to watch a new Twilight Zone.
Bullshit. Why is the free channel? You can get CBS, ABC, and NBC, and I guess maybe Fox, but you can get them their basic cable, and now they're hiding shows behind paywalls.
Yeah,
and it's aggravating. Like I want to watch the new Twilight Zone done by Jordan Peele, but I'm not paying for All Access. I'm not.
I mean, what other CBS show are you gonna fucking watch? You know what I mean? Like. The idea is to pay for the shows that you want, not the channels. Essentially, we all just want to watch our certain shows. And like with Disney, it's not like they own ESPN. There's another ESPN Plus thing that you have to pay for, and that's a fucking $5 a month. And it's getting insane. It's getting insane. I would love the Disney pack if it had all of the Disney stuff, including ESPN, because I love ESPN. I watch it all the time. I'm not gonna have to. I don't. It's crazy, dude.
Then you've got all the packages that you could if you don't want to get the packages on your TV, you can.
This does include Hulu, it looks like, so that's kind of.
What's the one that you can get the MLB, like the MLB package. You can get the NFL Game Pass for the year for like however much it costs, like $200 for the year, and you get all the games. Except you don't always get all the games. Mm-hmm. You sometimes get your own local game blacked out.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have basic cable to watch it on ABC, CBS, Fox, or NBC, good luck. You're paying 200 for we want to watch your team, and now you're paying it to be blacked out.
Yeah.
And the streams don't always work. They often go down.
Yeah, so there's Netflix. So here they're saying it wants its other streaming services, Hulu and ESPN Plus, to run on the same tech platform, so you can subscribe and use the same password and credit card info. But Disney plans for all three to be individual subscriptions, even though it's said it's likely to bundle them at a discount. So again, it's like they're just, I don't know, it's crazy. I guess that's better in some way, because then if you just want ESPN, you could just get ESPN. If you just want Hulu, you could just get Hulu. But it's like the prices don't reflect what this is, because if you get, there's Netflix, Hulu, HBO, Amazon, ESPN, CBS All Access. What else is there? There's got to be more.
Amazon Prime Video.
Yeah, Amazon Prime Video. There's like just like cable TV packages, right? Like Sling. Then there is PlayStation Vue. Then there is YouTube TV. Then there's YouTube Red. Then there's, it goes on. Showtime, Stars.
Music streaming, you've got Spotify.
Yep.
Like, it seems small at first, but then you start adding in how many of these packages you're getting to get the exclusive content, and you realize you're now paying a cable bill.
Yeah. It's crazy, dude. It's crazy. A la carte TV is the fucking goal here. I want to say, hey, I want to watch Always Sunny, and that's the only show that I watch. I'll pay you fucking $1 a month to watch it whenever I want. That's all I want to do. How much more money do you think they would rake in if I could do that? Because there's so many shows that I would buy as opposed to their stupid individual plans. I'd buy the Twilight Zone plan for a couple months just to watch it. I'm not buying your fucking All Access. You're out of your mind. And $7, $11, like it's not like $1 or $2. It's fucking like $10, $15. You know what I mean? Ends up being like $50, $60 a year. Bullshit. All right, moving on. Nier Automata short. So there was this awesome short animation that the Nier Automata fans put together. It's on YouTube. It's called Baguette Produced Nier Tribute. And it's just a cool little anime short. It's only a minute and a half long. Go check it out if you like Nier Automata. If you haven't played Nier Automata, that's my recommendation for you today. There's so many people that haven't played this game. It's so fucking good.
I'm assuming from Baguette. I don't know. I was wondering, is this like a French production?
I have no idea.
Because the art style definitely reminds me of like French animation.
Yeah, a little bit.
Which, like, French animation can be like really good.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen Death, Love, and Robots on Netflix?
Mm-mm.
Oh my god, dude. Watch that as soon as you can. Watch that while you're playing Apex. Because it's not like an intense show that you need to pay attention to.
I've been currently watching Pokemon Sun and Moon on Netflix.
Oh my god.
It's really good.
How are you watching that and you're not watching Love, Sex, and Robots? You need to go watch Love, Death, and Robots. Please watch it. Death, Love, and Robots.
My Netflix backlog is so bad.
Death, Love, and Robots is insane. It's like old school adult animation. There's anime, there's CGI, like it's awesome. It's like if you think of like Black Mirror, but in the animation world. Like they put all these awesome dystopian futures together. The animations are simply jaw-dropping. They're all cool, and it's adult, so you're not getting like, little baby shit like Pokemon. Moving on. Respawn's Star Wars game. This is awesome. How pumped are you for this, dude? As a guy who's digging Apex, come on.
Couple of the funny things to point out. EA got the storytelling, RPG-driven, like, just, emotional backbone company to make their loot shooter. And they've got the multiplayer, like Wizards, really good at first-person shooters, really good at just like crisp gameplay to make a single player story driven game. I think that's funny, but let's be honest, it's not a bad thing
Right.
because BioWare has had a bad track record for a while, track record for a while, and Respawn has been doing really well. Even Titanfall 2, like the single player campaign of that, a lot of people praise that as one of its high points.
Oh, it's awesome. It's
So
awesome. I played Titanfall 2 for a while. It was great.
I think this is fantastic. I'm looking very much forward to this. I'm still wondering how EA is going to fuck it up. But they have come out and said no microtransactions, no multiplayer. But here's the problem. It really feels like they're pointing at these things, like EA is, and going, look what we've done. It's revolutionary. It's the idea of we created a problem and now we're providing you the solution.
Mm-hmm.
And claiming like, oh, look at what we're doing. It's like, bitch, we know you started this whole shenanigans.
Mm-hmm.
Like all of this microtransactions and all this stuff, all these games and services was you.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're saying, oh, hey, look at what we've done. Isn't this fantastic? Isn't this what the industry is doing? And we're providing you an alternative. It's like, I don't need you to feed me that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need you to create a problem and then make a solution.
Yeah.
So I still hate EA, but I will be picking up this game because I do like Respawn a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it looks good from what we've seen, and the only signs I have to say that EA probably isn't going to fuck it up is it's not being made in Frostbite. It's being done in Unreal.
Yeah. Yeah, Respawn was probably like, no, we're not using your stupid, shitty Madden engine. We're going to make our engine out of Unreal. We're going to do it the way it needs to be done. You're not putting your shit
that was part of the negotiation process, was they sat down and go, so you're going to make this game in Frostbite? And Respawn was like, bitch, it's Unreal or we leave.
Dude, I guarantee you they were just like, hey, we have this Star Wars IP. DICE fucked it up. We're not going to give it to BioWare. Well, DICE, you guys have been doing great, so we'll give you guys the IP. Have fun.
I don't even think DICE fucked it up. DICE made from a core gameplay like perspective, Battlefront 2 was fun and good. EA made a lot of decisions that weren't good, and then DICE didn't help when they started making a lot of those microtransactions that EA put upon them, reflecting gameplay. You don't make microtransactions like if it's cosmetics, nobody gives a shit. But if it's tied to gameplay, then it's a problem. Mm-hmm. And that's where DICE and EA fucked up. So they're not doing that here.
Granted, DICE was still in the fuck up. So they were just like, here's Respawn, you guys are our pride and joy right now. You're making us millions off of Apex.
And also because I think if this would have the same problem as Battlefront 2, where if they did these things where they made a poor game, added a bunch of multiplayer that didn't need to be there, added in microtransactions that were tied to gameplay, Disney would have been, all right, that's it, you're done. You lose the IP.
Yeah.
And EA realizes how much money that Star Wars makes. You can still sell a single player game with no multiplayer and still make a good amount of money. You look at God of War, you look at Breath of the Wild, you look at these games that are single player experiences, you look at Spider-Man, they still sell.
By the way, this is coming out in November.
Yeah, and I'm definitely picking it up.
It's like almost done. Dude, it's just I'm hyped for this. I can't wait to see what Respawn does with this. I have a lot of high hopes for this. I think this is EA. I think if this is done the way that I expect it to be done, and it's not like Apex where it's just one mode, there's no real rewards. Like if there's actually a substance game behind it, this is going to be one of EA's best sellers by far. This is
the awesome. Power of the Star Wars IP is it's huge.
Just imagine a full scale first person shooter with Star Wars with Respawn behind it, with their movement, with their technical know-how, with their gunplay. It's going to be so fucking fun.
in today's world, if you release a Star Wars game and it doesn't make you a shit ton of money, you fucked up.
Yeah.
That IP is powerful.
Yeah. Well, for granted, like, Star Wars Battlefront 2 did make a lot of money.
But it didn't make what they expected it
No,
to.
it didn't make what they expected, but their
And
expectations
that
were
lies the issue.
astronomical.
Because they sat there and they were arrogant and they're like, well, we got this backlash. We have the most downvoted comment on Reddit. They're still gonna buy the game. It's Star Wars. And then people were going,
Yeah, I bought it.
You know what? No.
I liked
we're
it.
not
I
gonna
thought it was fun. The transactions and stuff were stupid, but
They expected 10 million in sales. They got 6. 4 million people decided to boycott it.
yeah. They're not going to boycott this one. I can guarantee you that. This is going to be
Yeah,
huge.
especially with Respawn, who has a stellar track record right now, not just from recency bias with Apex, but with Titanfall 2. Like, I am very looking forward to this game.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I'm pumped for it. Nintendo Switch firmware 8.0 it's been updated. Anything new that they added? I just downloaded the YouTube app for the Switch.
Few quality of life improvements. You can now sort your software. You can sort it by time last played, total play time, the title,
that's cool.
and publisher, which is really nice. Like because I really like the way that their UI is. It's very simple, but I do like the way that like the software sits there. But now that you can sort it, I think that's great.
Dude, 15 new icons from Splatoon 2 and Yoshi's Crafted World games for your user?
Yeah, buddy.
God damn, that's it. That's worth it in itself. VR mode restriction is available within parental controls.
Yep,
just
so
like
that new VR that they're doing, which essentially is the Google Cardboard of Nintendo.
Nothing about their online service.
They change up how save data cloud backup is named, transferring data. You can now there's a change to transferring data. So a feature to transfer your save data is now available, allowing you to transfer your save data for individual games between systems, which is nice. I think that's a really nice change. So if you're playing a game on somebody else's Switch, you can actually just move your save data over. I think that's like important for like Smash Brothers and stuff like that. You can make a copy of your save data and give it to somebody else. Like then they can have everything unlocked. That's really nice.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. That is pretty cool.
Yep. And there's some other quality of life, like stopping the system from waking up from sleep mode when you unplug an AC adapter.
Yeah, just little stuff.
Little stuff here and there.
This is what I want. Fixed online. That's all I need to see.
They get that Microsoft Online.
We fixed our online. It's not shit anymore. That would be great. If we can get that headline, then I'm happy. Marvel Alliance 3 Black Order launches on Nintendo Switch 19th July. So that's coming out soon. You're excited for this one, dude. You put this in the news every week.
Counting it down, I've got 3 other people that are going to join me in playing 4-player co-op online, which is going to be fun. And then, so, June is Judgment, which is the game from the people who make the Yakuza series, which are fantastic games.
I haven't played. Should I buy them?
Totally. Get the
What's the ones that should I get? You've played them.
Yakuza 0 is on PC. Yakuza Kiwami is on Steam.
I don't care what's on what. What's the best? What's the one that you think I should get? Because I've been thinking about it for the last year.
Pick up Kiwami 1.
Okay.
It's the first game in the series. Well, it's a remake of the first game. Kiwami means extreme. So the original game came out on PS2.
Yeah.
But the Kiwami remake is really good. It was free on PSN. You should have downloaded it, or at least added it to your library when you could have. That's what I did, and I played it, and I had a blast with it. It's a fun beat 'em up, like almost like a melodrama set in Japan with the Yakuza. Yakuza 0 is the prequel to that, and then Yakuza Kiwami 2 is the second game remake, which is coming to PC. And I'm going to pick that up when it comes to PC. And it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And they are planning on re-releasing 3, 4, and 5 on the PS4 and probably PC as well, because those were PS3 games. And then there's Yakuza 6, which is the newest one, is out on PS4. It's a long running franchise. There are 7 games in the series.
No, I've
Not
been meaning to check them out because I hear everyone keeps telling me the Yakuza games are
they're
super
they're
underrated.
really good beat 'em ups. A lot of fun in the combat system. There's a crap ton of mini games to play all over the place. There's a ton of side quests, and the characters are quirky.
Yeah.
Especially my boy Majima, who's like your
Majima.
rival. He is a treasure to fight against, and his character, he's insane. He's literally insane.
All right, I'm gonna pick that shit up. I want to play it now. You
Definitely
just sold
fun.
me. I didn't know you played it. I would have asked you a long time ago.
So the creators of that franchise are making another game set in the universe of Yakuza called Judgment, which has been out in Japan already, but it's coming to the West. And it's a mix between like Phoenix Wright, Yakuza, and like some other like style. So like there's investigating, you're fighting people, so you still have the Yakuza style fighting. You don't play as the main character from Yakuza, of course. You play as like a detective. And that game looks really good. Looks to continue the track record that the people who make Yakuza have, which is I think it's Sega. Yeah, Sega makes it. Looks really good. I'm gonna pick that up. That's June. July is Fire Emblem Three Houses, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. June is also Mario Maker 2. And then August is that new Platinum game for the Switch. And I imagine at E3, Nintendo's going to announce a bunch of other stuff coming in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
So this summer, it might be one of the more stacked summers I can remember in gaming.
Yeah, good. And then next year we're gonna get some new consoles. That should be fun. And then finally, the Capcom plug and play arcade stick is a mixed bag. Whoa, what the hell?
Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
Oh my god.
Who thought this was a good idea?
A Capcom sales executive?
The system itself, not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. There's like a really cool assortment of titles on here. Alien vs. Predator was never released outside of the arcades. It's a really good game, too. Like, it's a fantastic beat 'em up. Was never released on a home console. Having that alone is fantastic. But the design of this thing is awful. Who decided to make it the logo and not even like a straight rectangle? It's got weird cutouts that just don't look comfortable. And the fact that it's essentially 2 arcade sticks next to each other, this thing is gigantic. How are you going to transport this? You're not going to throw it in a backpack. You're going to position it in your trunk weird. You got to like.
It's kind of cool. This is not something you travel with, no.
No, this is you can't take this anywhere. This is like stuck at home. I think it's cool for the price point though, which is £200 in the UK, so whatever that translates to in the US. That's expensive. This is a collector's item, if you ask me.
You don't think it's worth it?
This is only for the really the serious collector of arcade stuff. I don't think you're gonna.
Yeah, but what if? I don't even think it's for that. I mean, a serious arcade collector is probably not gonna.
Micro USB powered. You're telling me you couldn't get this thing to be powered USB-C?
Yeah, that's a little whack.
Only HDMI out support.
But this is kind of. If there were a little bit more games, I could maybe justify it.
I give it to him. It does have Sanwa buttons and a stick. Those are good quality buttons and sticks. So you are getting good quality with the actual arcade components. I love Sanwa. They're a really good company for like fight sticks, arcade sticks.
You're getting Street Fighter 2. You're getting Ghouls and Ghosts, Mega Man.
Puzzle Fighter 2 is really good. The original Strider is really good. Final Fight is really good.
I never played Alien vs. Predator.
You're getting Mega Man The Power Battle, which is actually pretty good.
Could you like hack this thing and put your own games on there?
I imagine you could definitely homebrew on it.
I should get a fight stick.
I got mine. I love it. It's a great
I think
thing.
that would be fun. Like if you had a couple friends come over and you just plug the fight sticks in and you have an arcade.
That's how I played Cuphead on the PC. Was with a fight stick.
Oh wow, interesting.
I gave it that old arcade feel.
That's actually pretty cool. What fight stick do you have?
I have the Quanba Obsidian.
Does Hori make fight sticks? Are they
They
not good?
do. They do. They are like the Mad Cats now, so they totally do. I have the
Are they good
Converse,
though?
currently $200. Solid fight stick. The only problem with this fight stick, for the not for
Oh, you get the
what's the
Amazon
problem?
one?
I would say the problem with the fight stick I have is that if you want to customize it at all, like open it up and mod it and replace the buttons, change the artwork, mine is not good for that because it's got a layer of plexiglass that is a bitch to take off and put back on. But
Why
there
is
are
it
a
like
ton of
glued
fights.
on there?
Yeah. So if you take it off, you have to like perfectly put it back and not get the air bubbles.
Yeah, but I like how it attaches to the desk. Do you play it on your lap or do you attach it to your desk or do you just lay it on top?
I'll usually put it on my lap. I'm a lap player.
I kind of want one, dude. These are kind of
Yeah, no,
cool.
the Obsidian is
I play
fantastic.
tons of fighting games.
Tons of-
I just never play on a fight stick.
Yeah, and if you ever want to get into modding your own fight stick, there's tons of tutorials out there. Um,
It's got to be
really,
pretty
what it,
easy. Just soldering wires together, right? And a
what it
chip.
comes down to is you need the PCB board, which is what communicates the device back and forth to your whatever you hook it up to, whether it be a PlayStation or a PC. You need cutouts for your buttons. You need a cutout for your stick. You're gonna pretty much wire everything to the PCB board. You could literally, I have seen people make fight sticks out of Papa John's pizza boxes.
Yeah, you're just soldering.
Yeah, you're just making sure you have a good cutout for your buttons. So you're gonna want to measure that. Usually those.
And I could put the buttons any way I want, right?
Yeah. You don't have to have them set in any specific way. You can put them as far apart or as close as you want. You can have them touching each other if you want.
Dude, I think I'm gonna make one and fucking stream it.
Yeah, totally.
I think that'd be
There's a ton of
cool.
good resources out there, and you can make it out of anything. You can take an old like dresser drawer or something, and you can just make it.
I think I might buy like a pre-made like box and then just put my own stuff in it. You know what I mean? Like have
Yeah.
someone who like cuts out plexi things that I can just
If you want to,
drop in.
put art, you can totally put artwork on there.
Yeah.
You just gotta print it out. Put it over. Make sure your buttons. You have the holes for your buttons in the artwork. There's so many cool custom-made, like homemade fight sticks.
Yeah, I've seen Reddit on it. People on Reddit.
And they're not like terribly expensive. The most expensive thing you're going to pretty much be shelling out for is the PCB board, which is essentially the mother brain of the fight stick.
And where do you get that?
You can get everything online. There's a couple sites that sell fight stick components. Let's see.
Focus Attack, is that a good one?
Focus Attack is a good one. ParadiseArcadeShop.com is also really good. They have a ton of stuff. A lot of Sanwas. They have electrical for PCBs, lighting, wiring, power, components, whether it be micro switches, sockets. They've got kits. They've got
Wow, there's a
different
scanline
hardware.
generator.
Yep. People definitely have 3D printed their own fight sticks as well.
Oh.
But yeah, so you got like different kits. You've got different tools they offer. Like Paradise Arcade Shop is where I would usually go for this stuff. And you can get buttons like various prices, depends on what you're looking for, what size button, what switches on the button you want. I know somebody that custom made their own mod. They used cherry blues.
Yeah, I was
And the
thinking
price tag.
about using like the Kale box switches.
Yep. And you can totally do that.
Dude, I think I'm gonna do it, man.
Fight
That could
stick
be a-
modding is such a cool thing. Like
It's like mechanical keyboard modding. It's basically like the same thing.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Dude, I might make one over this summer. Get all the parts I need.
Do it. Put in a live stream it.
Yeah. I'd stream the whole thing. I'd get it all together and just do a whole day of streaming where I just put it all together and then
Take
cut
the
it.
highlights. Make the highlights a tutorial video.
Yep. Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm fucking doing it. Because I play so many fighting games.
Yep, and then you're gonna decide whether you want an octagonal gate or a square gate, depending on depends on what fighting game you're playing. Usually, like
I do not.
I'm more of a square gate player. You know how like the gates work.
Yeah.
You have your good old quarter circle forward, your Dragon Punch inputs.
No, that's interesting. All right, let's get out of here. Thank you all for listening to the No Life Digital Podcast. We will be back next week with a brand new show. We've got a tech portion coming next week. Should be a bunch of fun stuff. Wait, are we doing a show next week? Yes. Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see you guys next week every Tuesday, 5 p.m. Eastern. See you here on our Twitch channel, No Life Digital. And cool. Catch y'all later. Peace.